Hey guys, I'm here at Shine with Gahtzu, who just beat CLG's SFAT to guarantee at least 5th or higher at Shine 2018. Gahtzu, how are you feeling?
Pretty good right now. Happy I beat SFAT, but a little disappointed I almost dropped a 4-stock lead.
Yeah, you almost had the 4-stock there, Game 5, but is that really that's weighing on you now after that victory?
Not necessarily weigh on me, but I feel like sometimes when I'm ahead, I get a little too complacent or go for things I shouldn't, and then when that happens, I lose stocks, and then it's even. And then when it's even, I just feel bad for dropping a huge lead, and then so just something I have to work on. I think just always trying, not laying off the gas.
Do you think that's a problem that you've had for a while, or something that kind of, like once it was happening, you're like, oh no, it's happening again? Is that what it felt like?
I think I've been, for most of my career, a lot of times I try to pick and choose when I care a lot about a match, and what ended up happening is everyone is getting a lot better at Melee, so I would play players in tournament, and I would drop matches or even sets to unranked players just because I want to beat them with lazy options and stuff like that, and then everyone's really good now, and that doesn't always work anymore. So working on that in general, just managing mental energy.
So you said throughout your career in general, this is your first major top 8 after being a pretty notable player for a pretty long time. Nintendo said in a tweet yesterday that he was super, super happy to see you get top 8 because he feels like you're one of the most underrated players of all time. Do you think that description applies to you? Is that something you think about?
Yeah. I've always felt like I was a really good player. To me, it feels less like a breakout and more as it should be, right? So to me, I've always felt I was really good, but a lot of times my execution doesn't come through as much as I hope it would. So mostly been practicing stuff I see myself miss in tournament, and then just trusting myself to execute it well.
Do you think it's the trusting yourself that let you finally be able to execute so well this weekend and be able to make be able to fulfill what should have happened?
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. Just trusting my body and letting it do its thing while my mind focuses on the opponent. Yeah.
Now, you're known for playing a pretty execution-heavy style, having pioneered the 20GX movement along with Gravy and Wizzy. Does that ever contribute to frustration, the fact that you play something that is so micro-intensive, that relies on execution so much, where if you mess up, it could be potentially really costly?
It feels like that sometimes with respect to tech chasing, where it's really hard, and then if you miss, you can just get 0 to death, like a regular combo off Shine or whatever character you're playing. But I feel like the advantages are so strong that it's worth it, because the execution, it's not out of reach. It's definitely doable. So I think the hard times that come with it sometimes are definitely worth it.
On the other side of bracket, you're one of 2 Falcons now who is guaranteed at least 5th because S2J beat Shroomed and is looking to make a repeat of the run he had last year. S2J has talked a lot about how he's taken from the Florida Falcons, from the 20GX movement, integrated it a bit into his gameplay. Do you look to him and maybe to None also for things that you can add to your style of Falcon?
Yeah, I only look at the top Falcons. I try to look at almost any Falcon that's decent and just find little things they do. Just watch a match, not really paying attention, and then something will come up, I'll notice it, and then I'll look back at it. And so yeah, I just take from everyone.
So coming up, you're playing against Zane, who's had a ridiculously meteoric rise. Most likely Zane, depending on winners. Potentially Hungry Box. How are you feeling going into that match?
I'm feeling pretty confident, more or less. Marth Falcon is pretty good, but I know Zane has a really good punish game, so we'll see what happens. I did pretty well against him in the cruise. I only played him 1 stock, so I took it though. So.
When you made top 8, I saw you walk off stage right there, and maybe it was because you had that potential 4 stock that almost came all the way back, but you looked very contained, very calm.
Right.
What was your emotional reaction when you made top 8 for the first time?
Once again, it was kind of anticlimactic in my head, kind of like just reaching a goal, and then you're like, oh, I guess I'm here. And once again, I've always thought I should be doing this well or like even better, just because, I don't know, maybe a little narcissistic, but I just think I'm really good personally. So to me, it wasn't that like uplifting. Yeah.
So going forward, what's the lesson you take from this to make more top 8s keep happening and finally keep happening? Because like everyone, I remember watching you way back at MLG Anaheim, and that was like, oh, Gahtzu's coming up. Gahtzu's going to beat up McCain. And then since then, everyone's always talked about you, but this is a lot when it's finally been fulfilled. So how do you continue to make this happen going into the future?
I think just continue working on the execution stuff I messed up in tournament, and then continuously practicing, like adapting to the opponent and really understanding what they're trying to tell me in game. Yeah. But I'm mostly happy about not like I guess choking any matches. Like with SFAT, like I said before, I was a little disappointed that almost happened. So I would never say that I've like conquered a problem, but I can do my best to like work around it or whatever.
Yeah, totally. All right, last question. You just said something about figuring out what my opponent's trying to tell me in game, which is, I think, a really interesting turn of phrase. And in your run to top 8, you lost to Army in winners, and then you ended up making you just ended up basically brutalizing him in losers to make top 8. Yeah. Does that have to do with what your opponent's telling you, adaptation on the spot in between sets?
Yeah, more or less. In the first set I played him, I tried like more of the traditional strategy of like platform camping ICs and coming down from above and stuff, and it just wasn't working out as well as I wanted. So I shifted to a more grounded style where it's really hard for him to jab grab me, and then I can punish off that. So I think it was I guess a general adaptation in between sets and just playing how I actually wanted to play, because the platform camping is like how you play when you're scared, right? So big part of it is just kind of letting myself do what I know my body can do, and I know I can do.
Cool. Thank you so much. Any last words, any shout-outs, anything you want to say, thoughts for the future before we end?
I'm going to be finishing school in December, so I don't know how many tournaments I'll be attending from here on. I'll probably hit all the major ones like Big House and stuff. Yeah. But after I'm done with school, 2019 is when I'm really going to start grinding. Sick. Yeah. Sick.
Well, I think after this, everyone's going to be really excited for that. Sure. Thank you again so much for the interview. I really appreciate it, dude. Thanks. Yeah. And guys, for more Shrine 2018 content, stay tuned to this channel. Thanks so much.